Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. It's been quite the month in December and we're not going to end it without paying another visit to the Battle of Britain. We're going to start off by playing Skies Above Britain today by GMT Games. This one puts us in control of a fictional squadron over the Battle of Britain. In this case, we're actually technically using a historical squadron, the 303rd. So I haven't set up the pilots yet. I wanted to do that on camera. I do have the planes that we're using, though. We are using Spitfires today. So my tailed and head-on and tailing related to Hurricanes can return to the box at this point. I only need the Spitfire cards today. So now we need to do a little bit of setup before we're ready to start this. Before we are ready to start this patrol. So, right. Okay, I'm just finishing up here. So arrange fighters on the squadron. We need to assign the pilots to the fighters. So we've got, might be a little bit hard to see, but we've got red leader, we've got red squadron over here, green over here, blue and yellow. And I'm trying to prioritize, I'm going to try to prioritize pilots that are not in danger of fatigue. So Zoombach's is going to be a good one to send up. That's pilot B. We'll put him in. We'll make him red leader for today. Excuse me, frog in my throat. So yeah, he's not in danger of fatigue, so he's definitely going to go up. Let's see, we'll mark him on patrol 4. Let's see, Ferrick is already exhausted, so he can't go up, as is Paskowicz, these two pilots up here. Let's see, Hennenberg can go up. He's going to go in. Let's see, our veteran can go up, but he's in danger of fatigue, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll make him red 2 for today. Let's see, Karuba needed to rest on the 3rd patrol. He can go up. He'll be the last of red squadron, or of a red section. Let's see, then Frantisek, pilot G, can also... Oh, he's our green. He's... Okay, wait a minute. A is actually our green pilot. That is Kellett, who's our green pilot. I'm going to see if I can avoid... Well, I was going to say... He did fly in patrol 3, so I want to try to keep him on the ground if I can to let him rest. Let's see. Looks like Pizarek can go up. He's a regular pilot. I'll make him green leader. Let's see, Wunshi can go up as well. He'll go into green 3. Let's see here. Zach is actually... Pilot Zach is actually fatigued, so he's going to need to rest as well. Yes. Actually, we've got a few pilots who are actually fatigued. Andrew Scow, who I somehow didn't pull out of the... Oh, never mind. He got shot down. Never mind. Okay. Radomski can go up. He'll go in as green. He'll go in as green 2, and we're using Spitfires today, as I established. And then Forbes can go up. He'll be blue leader. So now we have to put up at least a couple pilots who are going to end up being fatigued. So, actually, we've got 5 pilots now who've got potential for that. Actually, we still have Frantisek who can go up, so he's going to go up as green 3. Let's see, we'll send Zaposniko. He'll end up fatigued out of this, but we're going to put him up in yellow leader. as a veteran, as he's our veteran pilot. Okay, Urbanowicz is going to be in blue 2. He will be fatigued after this mission as well. Then we've got space for 2 more pilots. Wojtowicz is going to go up in yellow 3. And we'll send Seberzinski. Actually, no, Seberzinski is in the hospital. Never mind. We've got Seberzinski and Brzezowski in the hospital right now. Let's put Belk up as yellow 2. He's going to be fatigued after this mission, though. Okay. So now that we've assigned our pilots, let's place the fuel. We need to consult for visibility, so let's bring the dice tower into shot to see where the sun is. Actually, to consult the visibility table in the situation manual. Okay, so we need the sun token. We'll roll a d12 for that. An 8 says it's clear and there's sun. So now we need to find out where the sun is. Let's see, 9 says it's at starboard. So the sun is going to be right up there. Let me just make a note of that in the patrol log. Okay. And we'll turn that over. Raid proximity, we've already drawn those on the inbound. Consult the situation manual to place the... Okay, so now we have to place where our squadron is going to start. On a 1 to 5, it's going to start deep. 6 to 7 starts medium or middle. 8 plus starts on the coast, meaning we've been patrolling for a while. All right, that's a 4, so we are starting. So we're starting deep. Looks like we're just getting out on our patrol. Right, yes. It's time to populate the interception map. Okay, this is probably going to be a little bit slower since I'm still a bit rusty. I'm a bit rusty at Skies Above Britain. I really do enjoy this game, but again, a little rusty with it. So, okay, outbound, yada, yada, yada. All right, so let's jump right into this. So now we go for our first inbound vector. We start off in the raid vector sequence. So we're going to start off by revealing our raid vector markers, our vector markers, since the raid marker is not in play. And then there should be a reference sheet for vector marker results, okay? Didn't mean to jar the camera there. Let me readjust that. All right, so I can actually probably bring the tower out of shot at this point. I know I'm running around a little bit like a chicken with my head cut off today. So let's see what our first inbound vector is going to give us today. All right, so that's a Messerschmitt. So we draw a Luftwaffe advantage card, select a section that spends a fuel, right? So we draw a Luftwaffe advantage card. So our advantage card here is we're head on. So looks like we select the section that goes after it. Is that what it's doing? One section is attacked, okay? Who fights? Select a section at random. Okay. So it looks like somebody's going to be attacking right away. Somebody's going to be getting attacked. So we're head on with Messerschmitts. So probably Card icons attacked by 109s. All right, so we'll get the section of 109s out. Actually, now we need the dice tower back in shot to determine who's getting attacked. But I also need these. Let's see, red, blue, green, and yellow. Those can get out of my way. And now we'll roll a d12 for who gets attacked. Red is 1 to 3. Green is going to be 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12. All right, that's a 6, so green section is going to get attacked. Green is going to spend a fuel, and then they're going to be attacked head-on. Then we're going to fight this. Then we're going to fight this out, I believe. That's going to bring us down into the dogfight cycle. Now we're going to draw dogfight cards. We've got head-on. So here we're going to find. We're head-on. Looks like we've got an entire section. So it looks like the lone Messerschmitt is going to go away. We're going to end up getting tailed, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, other icon results. Enforcement. So we've got one. Looks like we've got 110s now tailing us. That's not good. The 110s now tailing us, and then and then a random section draw. That's okay. That's not a. I'm pretty sure that's a low ammo result coming off a card. Damage. When a Luftwaffe fighter receives a damage result, reduce it. Yeah, so now... Okay, so now we've got a problem where now we're being tailed by 110s. That's problematic for green section. All right, so now we go back to the dogfight cycle again. Okay. Right, we didn't have any hit check there, so now we're back to the dogfight. And now, since we're tailed, we can try a maneuver. Which in this case, what are we going to try? That is the question. There we go. Place fighters. No. Okay, so draw dogfight. Okay, before you may select a maneuver. Okay. So we are going to try. Let's go for a. Let's try a turn with green section so we can try to turn them so we're head on. Let's see what happens on the tailed card. So tailed by a group of 110s. We turn, but one of us is going to take a hit. Let's figure, so we achieve the turn, but somebody takes a hit. Let's figure out who in green section, and there's actually sections on the dice for that already. That's 8. Ooh, that's going to be green leader taking the hit. So we need to go into this cup. Right, that's an elevator with a 7, which means green leader will need to survive that to come out of this marker, to come out of this okay. But at least we do end up turning, so now we are... At least we end up turning, so now we're head on, which means we get to go back into... Okay, so never mind. We do have a hit check, though, that we need to check on. That's a tailed card, so that should go here. So now we roll for our hit check, and if I remember correctly, when we do the hit check coming out of the dogfight cycle, we want to be 7, and we want to be lower than that to survive the hit. Actually, no. I think it's higher than that to survive, but let me see if I can remember that. If it's higher, we survive. Okay. Lower means that plane's going into the hitbox. So we want to see a 7 or, what do we say? We want to see a 7 or higher. I'm just going to put a bookmark in there because I'm going to forget. Let's do that. Yep, we want to see higher than a 7. So unfortunately, that is a 6, which means green leader is going into the elevator section with a hit, and that goes back in the cup. But at least we managed to get turned, so now we're head on with this pair of 110s. So now going back to dogfight again, we draw another head-on card. All right, so the fighter marker goes away, takes a damage, but one of us is low on but somebody is low on ammo. All right, so the fighter goes away. Fighter goes away. That's a damage result, which from a card, where we draw a damage marker and apply it, reduce it. Okay. So each damage result is counted as a kill. So actually we should have had 2 kills. Green leader was around when the first one was drawn, so let's see who got that kill. That's a 1, so that would have been green 3 getting that kill. Which green 3 today is Wunsch. And then the kill now is going to be green 2, which in this case is Radomski. All right, so, okay. And then we have to determine also who is low on ammo. All right, that's a 9, so green 2 is also low on ammo. Which, let's see if I can find, there we are. All right, so we know green 2 is already low on ammo, which is a bit of a problem. And I just saw an email here. Let me follow up on that real quick before we reveal our next inbound raid vector marker. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's see, dinner, yada, yada, yada. Let me just reply to this. $7 or $8 Eastern time. Yeah, I could probably make that work. Okay. So now that I've got that out of the way, I'll leave the dice tower close since I'm probably going to need that, but we have another vector that we need to reveal for since the raid is still not on the track. Let's flip over our next vector marker, and here we will find, I believe, okay, so that might put the raid in play. Yes, it does. So we've got flak for a number of hits and damage markers. So 2. So we need to figure out who, looks like we're going to need to figure out who gets hit out of this, presumably. Right. Icon results. Tally ho raid. If you perform. Okay, look, yeah, looks like. So note the flak marker and place that many damage markers hurricane side up and check for catastrophic effect. But the bomber's not on, place the damage markers on the interception map. So we draw 2 of these out. I've got my damage marker cup that I'm drawing off shot. Draw 2 of those out, place those hurricane side up. And then we'll check for catastrophic effect in a minute, but we also have the raid marker in play. Okay, so now we put the raid marker in the inbound section over here. So the raid's right there. All right, then place the raid marker there. Then if visibility is clear, and it is, we roll a die to place escort station markers. And okay, that's going to be based on, so yeah, we need to roll the die since it is clear. Place escorts. Let's see, that's an 8. So we've got port 109 and starboard 110. So looks like port 109, starboard 110. Okay. Raid marker is not yet in play. Now it is. Haze or clouds. Okay. Raid marker is in play. Then, okay, ordnance was released, which it wasn't yet since the raid marker just came into play. And unfortunately, we are too far away from the raids to try to establish contact. So, so I think that means since we have to be at least, if I remember correctly, we have to be 1 space away from that to be able to initiate contact. So if it's on the raid track, you may perform contact. You may perform contact if the squadron's formation marker is in the same zone or adjacent, which we are not because we're in deep and they came out in the coast. So we don't get to attempt contact. You may adjust the squadron's position, which we can't do that. So we don't get to make contact. Make an escort. So yeah, no contact attempt can be made there. Vector, during this phase, make an escort check. Okay, which we are not there. So presumably, so since we can't make contact and there's no sense trying to attempt a vector roll, right? So yeah, we can't attempt contact, but we can spend a fuel. It looks like we can spend a fuel before starting the interception. So no, we wouldn't be able to do that anyway. Hold on. Oh, we should have spent 2 fuel for each section. So we should be down there. It looks like that's part of the, looks like that's the second step of the raid vector sequence, which I, of course, did not remember. So we don't have contact, which means we go to the vector phase. Make an escort check for each escort marker. Follow the procedure as explained in escort exit, which is on page 39. Check each escort station to see if it reduces or is removed from play. Okay. So checking for the escort suppression. RAF fighters engaged. There are no fighters engaged, so I don't think escort. So logically, I don't think they'd be worried about exiting yet. So when do we get to move? Okay. To a different position or altitude. So that's part of contact, which means we probably would. So we probably would move over, but we'd spend a fuel to do that. So to try to make an adjacent mark. So we did that. Vector. Adjust means moving the. Okay, so we only get to try contact once. So since we moved, now we don't get to attempt contact. So we don't have in the sun. Nothing else is a thing there. So vector, looks like we're back to the start of the RAID vector sequence. So now we start revealing vector markers again. So our first marker is a straggler, which we do have the option. We immediately attack it, which we are not going to attack the straggler, so we're not going to worry about that marker. Actually, that should be over there. And then our next marker is the RAID marker. Okay, so at this point, I just saw another email. Let me follow up on that real quick. Okay. So now with the RAID marker in play, now the RAID's going to release ordnance at this point, so they're going to let their bombs fly. Yes, of the RAID marker, so along the curving arrow to the turn space, so they're going to now try. So now they're on the turn space, which means they've let it fly. Remove all inbound RAID markers. So all of these go away. So now all of them go away, and we draw outbound vectors and place them on the vectors on the outbound space. So this is probably going to end up being a pretty short patrol. So now we're going to go ahead and place them on this outbound section by the coast. All right. Trying to make sure I pull these outbound side up. That way I don't see what's on the back of them. Okay. So there's all of that for the outbound vectors. All right, now that they've released ordnance, this is probably going to be a pretty short patrol. So that should end the ordnance was released and the RAID marker is now in the turn space. If this result was garnered during the RAID vector sequence, which it was, the reveal step is ended, proceed to the fuel step. So now every section spends a fuel. Now we can try to initiate contact, which honestly there might be no point here to trying to continue the patrol now that they've already let their ordnance go. So we move to fuel, which we did that. Contact. You may perform contact if they're in an adjacent zone, which they are. Well, actually, would they be considered to be in an adjacent zone? I think the answer is probably yes. Okay, just saw another email. Let me just follow up on that. Well, I'll give that a little bit of thought later. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, there's probably no point here to even trying to go for contact. If the RAID marker is not on, so yeah, we would be considered. So they're on turn on the coast, which probably means we could still make contact, I think. Okay, so if it's on the raid track, you may perform contact. Honestly, since they've already let their ordnance go, I'm still debating if there's any point to trying to make contact, especially since we're already getting a little bit low on fuel for comfort. We've already had one plane shot down. I mean, there isn't anything here that indicates that we couldn't make. There isn't anything here that doesn't say we couldn't make contact after they release ordnance. Unless there's something in the icon result that says specifically I can't. It is now in the turn space. The reveal step has ended. Proceed to fuel. Then the raid marker is on the track. That's what I'm trying to figure out, if I can make contact. And I think we're trying to make contact in an adjacent zone. Where is that second table? Oh, it looks like it's right here. We'd be coming in at a very low position no matter how we do this. So yeah, we might as well try to make contact. So we might as well make contact. So we are in an adjacent zone, which means we do get to make contact, but we have to roll for where we're making contact. All right, that's a 12, so we're making contact nose low. We can spend a fuel to go nose high, which I think we will. I think we will spend a fuel from each section to come in nose high. We're bringing squadron in at nose high. And then contact ends the raid vector sequence. Okay, after rolling the die and placing the squadron's formation, we've got to set up the rest of the space. So now we need the dice tower probably completely out of my way. So we'll put that down there. Okay. Actually, I do need so escort stations are on the map, which we've got those. So actually now I do need the dice tower and shot one more time, because I'm going to be rolling for the type of bomber we've got coming in and how they're being laid out. And I've got my 2d12s here, so I'm going to roll red for the type of bomber, blue for the layout. '12 says we've got Henkels and we've got 4 tiles of them. So let me get those set up. Two, three, 4. All right, that can get out of my way. And now we want to set this up like this. Like that. Actually, we want that out of the way because we're going to be coming in we're going to be coming in at nose high. Right? So now we don't make an escort check. We don't make an escort exit check. We move the formations. Oh, we could have moved that during the vector step. Oh well. Okay. So now we're starting to set up the rest of the game space. Actually, I probably want that. You move that over here. Those are the bomber tiles coming in. So now we're going into the interception sequence. So now we can give each section orders to go bombers, escorts, or cruise to try to get better altitude. Okay. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to give... Let's see. So what do we want to do here? Green's already been shot down, so they're probably going to be returning to base soon. Let's give them... We're going to give red section bombers. Let's give... Let's send... Let's give blue section bombers as well. I think we'll send yellow section after the escort to try to drive... we want to give them escort to try to drive them off. I think the answer to that is going to be... yes. We're going to give them escort to try to drive the... Actually, let's give green section escort to try to drive them off, and we'll send yellow section after the bombers. All right, so we'll do it like that. And then we have to roll for the... We're going to go after the... Oh, before we do that, we do need to apply the catastrophic results. Fortunately, this will be easy. We can apply each of them. There's exactly 12 bombers there. So we can roll... We'll roll a D. We'll roll the blue die. I'll also go take English lessons while I'm at it. We'll roll the blue die for which bomber gets hit by each effect, and then the red one for whether or not they take the catastrophic effect. So let's roll for the wing hit first. We need an 11 for that. So again, blue is for which bomber is affected. Red is for if they take the catastrophic effect. All right, so that's 1. So that'd be the very first bomber down here. And no, they don't take the effect. Let me make sure I've got the right... Okay, so it should go in there. And then the fuselage hit. That would be going to bomber 6, but no. They don't take that. Actually, I think it still comes up as a marker, just the catastrophic effect doesn't happen. So the wing hit would have gone on bomber 1, and then the fuselage hit would go on bomber 6. Yeah, Jester, pronounce my symbols correctly. I know. I'm apparently having problems with English this morning. Anyway, now that we're all set up there, now we're going into the interception sequence. Since we sent green section after the escort, we have to determine which escort we're sending them after. I think we're going to send them after the... Let's see, so we've got 109s over here and 110s over here. We're going to send them after the one... So that's the interception sequence. I know there's tables for this. Here we go. Interception. All right, trying to intercept the escorts. We're coming in nose high. So we're going to send them after the... We're going to send them after the 109s. English is a hard second language to speak, and yet it's supposed to be our first language. So we're going to send green section after the 109s. Let's see, we are coming in high. Escort station, select to intercept. We're trying to intercept at port. Okay. Let's see if they have any luck with interception. They roll a 7, which means they want to be higher than that, I believe, to intercept. Yes. So actually, hold on. Fighters. Oh, that's intercept bombers. So there should be a success result on... Oh, here we go. Circle to roll another die. That's not a thing here since we're going after the 109s. Roll equal to higher. So we intercept the escort and have the advantage. So green section intercepts the escorts. And they go to So they intercept the escort and have the advantage. You figured my first language was Cthulhuism. Don't tempt me. Let's see what the RAF advantage is since we did intercept the 109s. So here we find we're tailing them. One RAF may leave the section. It tails a rote. If no RAF fighter leaves, place one rote so that it tails the section. Oh joy. So right now we are tailing them. And then one RAF fighter may leave and it tails. If no RAF leaves, place one rote so it tails. I think we are... We're going to leave. We're going to have one fighter leave the section so we can tail another rote. Let me get another of 109s out. So we're going to tail... Actually, we're going to go green. We need another one of those. We're going to have green 3 break off and tail another rote. So we are going to break them apart. We're going to tail it like that. All right, that was a Luftwaffe advantage card. Let's put that up here. Okay, so now we go into our dogfight sequence. So we don't have any head-on fights to worry about. No tailed, we're tailing. So we'll draw for green 3 first, and green 3 will find. Since we're tailing a rote, looks like that's a hit for... I believe that's a hit that we take. Yes, draw a hit marker and attach to the RAF fighter, and they're low on ammo. So green 3 wants actually green 3 is low on ammo, and we get a hit marker. Actually, wait. Hold on. We were tailing 109s. So it would help if I had the right marker. So that actually goes away, only if it's green though, right? Card icons. There's a loose, only affects a green pilot. There's no green pilot, no section, or no effect. Okay, so a green pilot would get loose, but there is no green pilot. So this one goes away, and now looks like we've got a problem here next, because our other result, so that's engaged. Note the silhouette type. So now we've got more 109s coming in. Note the angle of the silhouette. So it looks like it's tailing us, which is not great. And then we're tailing another rote up here. Oh, we got to draw a hit marker as well. So I've got my hit markers right here. All right, that's a fuselage hit for green 3. That's a bit of a problem. Because on an 8, that's going to be a hard hit to survive. And then we're tailing another rote of 109s. So tailing... Looks like now green 3 is going to come loose. That's a damage marker, but we're also now out of ammo. Which means green 2 is probably going to end up returning to base after this. All right, let me just double check what L means. Becomes independent and is now lost contact. Okay, so we'll move the... Actually, we need somewhere different to go with that. So that marker is now... So green 3 is now lost contact, which is a bit problematic, to put it mildly. They both become independent RAF fighters and are lost contact. So green 2 is going to end up lost contact as well. Those can go back. So interception clearly didn't go well for... So that clearly didn't go well. But now we need to roll for green 3. We want to see an 8 or higher on the hit check. Which, that's a 2, so shocker shockers. Green 3 is now headed up with a fuselage hit. Up into the fate box. Right there. There we go. Now that we got that figured out. Okay, now we've got our other 3 sections that are trying to roll to intercept the bombers, and I think I want to put that right down there. So now moving into the bomber interception sequence. So we're coming in from nose high. So now we're trying to intercept the bombers. So escort station, apply the highest interception number. We've got starboard or port. So we're trying to intercept at a 7. 7 or higher. That's an 11, so we do manage to intercept. We intercept the bombers. So immediately play a bomber round. All right, so we remove the formation marker and place all of the fighters in the bomber formation area. Okay. So now we bring the 3 sections into the bomber formation area, which means that can get out of my way. So now we immediately play a round of bomber combat. So bomber combat. First round, we're not able to attack, I don't believe. So we approach. Each fighter must either engage a bomber or return to base. Fighters approach and attack separately. So now we're moving over to this side of the map. So each fighter is going to attack separately. And we're coming in from the nose, so we're going to start off with a head-on round of bomber combat. Approach angles. In the first round, must approach from the angle corresponding to their route. So we approached from nose, which means everybody's got to go head-on. So red leader is going to go here. Then red 2 is going to go here. I'm going to put red section on this lead group of Henkels. Blue section is going to go for the back, I think. We'll do it like that. And then yellow section is going to go for this section. We're going to spread them out a little bit. All right, must approach, yada, yada, yada. We got all of that. If they arrive by performing chase, they can approach from any angle, so no problem there. Then burst, RAF fighters attack bombers they're engaged with. And I'm going to grab another... Actually, I'm going to grab a set of cubes so I can mark which fighters have attacked. That's to help me keep everything straight, because there's going to be a lot going on in this bomber combat, and I want to make sure I've got as much straight as I can. That should be plenty of markers. Okay, so we'll start off with red leader's attack first. So we're going to find I got to figure out which bomber card we use. I believe for Henkels, it's light, but let me see for sure. Dogfight cycle. Actually, it's probably explained in the bomber cycle. Let's see, medium bombers. Okay, so I don't need the light card. I don't need the light cards. Those can go back toward the box. And now we'll draw for red leader's aforementioned attack first. So our first card up. From the nose, that's our current section. That's our current situation. So on a card result, draw a return fire marker. Oh joy. And then we've got a potential disruption. If fighters are markers on the bomber formation equals or exceeds the disruption number, the bomber tile is isolated. Unfortunately, it is not. So we do have to draw a return fire. Right, so that probably just means that red leader is just instantly out of fuel. That seems like it would be what the case would be on that. Let me see if there's something in here that explains that. So, yeah, with a line through it like that, Sure seems like they're just out of fuel. But of course, I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Return fire icons. That's a fuel line emergency. So note the fighter's fuel cube on the fuel track. So red section is not out of fuel, but red leader instantly returns to base. So he's out of the fun and games, which means I don't need that marker anymore now that he's done. That can go back into the cup. We'll give that a shake. And then for red 3, we'll do red 3's attack next. Red 3's attack is another return fire marker and the disruption marker, which is now even less so. So the disruption marker is now even less of a thing. So our return marker here is a hit marker, which immediately turns over. Right, flip the, yep. All right, that's a fuselage hit, which is on a 6. So it's not necessarily unlikely to survive, but it's not, well, we're going to have to deal with that anyway. Now we'll do red 2's hit next. Red 2. Possible collision. Uh-oh. That could be bad. Let's see, we've got a possible collision, jammed guns, which means we will have to roll a die for it. So we'll get the jam marker out. Here we go. Great time for that to happen, too. And then the disruption marker is not even remotely going to be a thing. But we have a possible collision. So we roll a die. And on a 1, the fighter's killed, but the bomber's destroyed. Fortunately, that's a 10, so nothing happens there. And Historic Wings says, all right, chaps, lay into him. Yeah, about that laying into him. That's not going too well this morning, as you can probably see. Yellow 3 will do that attack next. And in case you're in Historic Wings, I know you're a little bit late to what's going on here, but I just started the bomber cycle. The pink cubes the pink cubes you're seeing appearing on the board are to help me remember which attacks I've done. Those will come off when I get done with the bomber cycle, and then we will do all that again. So now for yellow 3. Okay, we've got a damage marker, so we'll draw one of those markers out. Another return fire and a disruption of 8, which the disruption is not even going to be a thing here. So we'll draw a marker for that. We'll draw a damage marker there. We also need a return fire marker, though. We're putting these out Spitfire side up. So that's just a fuselage hit. But we also need a return fire marker for yellow 3. If he's green, he would take a hit, but yellow 3. Actually, this was probably a bad idea to do that. So red, I believe it was red, blue, and yellow. So yellow 3 is yellow J is Wojtowicz, which is not our green pilot, so the green hit marker is not a thing. Then we'll move over to yellow 2 for his attack. Go over to yellow 2 we find. If he's green, he takes a hit, which he's not. We get a damage marker and another disruption, which is still not a thing, but it's close. Agreeing with Jester that I seem to have gotten the Cthulhu Cards and Counters version of this game, I'm drawing really badly. You're not kidding about that. But then I've always kind of had bad luck with random draw stuff. All right, that's a mark on, actually, I think that was yellow. I think we marked yellow. I just kind of confused myself a little bit. We did red leader, who was returned to base. Let's see, how many cards are over there? 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we are doing yellow 2 right now, which is a head-to-head. We pulled out a fuselage marker for. We pulled out a yellow fuselage marker for the Hurricane. I'm going to leave the tower in shot for the time being. Which that's a 3, so no problem. Busy at work, but popping in and out as people won't leave me alone. All good, Jester. I know how that goes. Okay, so now that we've got that figured out. Oh, that should have been. Oh, hold on. We got to put these out Spitfire side up since we're all in Spitfires today. Okay. Right, I know what happened. We had a couple of random hits come in earlier, so actually that one should be on Hurricane side. Never mind. Panicked a little bit, but we're all fine. Now we'll go to Yellow Leader's Yellow Leader's attack. Let's see what Yellow Leader gets here. Possible collision with the return fire and disruption not happening either. So let's get the return fire marker out for Yellow Leader. And Yellow Leader is now lost contact. Delightful. Let's see, we also have to roll for a possible collision. That's a 7, no problem there. I could play Tally-Ho and be done with this mission already. I'd probably be on mission 3 in all honesty. I want to say I'm on mission 3 of Tally-Ho, but honestly, that's actually not a completely terrible idea to do later today. That'd be much later, though. I'm going to stick with my schedule for putting Stratomatic Baseball on the channel later. Blue 3's attack next. Possible collision, it's low on ammo, and disruption is not a thing. So we'll get the low ammo marker for Blue 3. Then we'll bring the tower right back in shot and roll for another collision. Which that's an 11, so no collision. So Tally-Ho is designed to be done in about the same amount of time overall as it took pilots to fly a real mission. Well, that's one thing you've always done with those games, is taken good care for historical accuracy with them. Blue 2. With a return fire, but this time the distress is actually a thing, so we will isolate that tile. Since we've got 3 pilots engaged, since we've got 3 markers, fighters and markers on the bomber formation equals or exceeds the disruption number. So that tile does get isolated, but we need to draw a return fire marker for Blue 2. All right, that's a hit marker. Uh-oh, that's an engine 9 hit. The way I'm rolling, I'm betting we're going to have at least 2 more fighters going into fate boxes this round. But now we've got Blue Leader left to do. So Blue Leader, now that we've got the tiles actually isolated, low on ammo, and the stress marker, distress, the fighters and markers on the bomber tile equals or exceeds, which it does not. So Blue Leader is also low on ammo. All right, well, at least we're done with all of that now. So now that we're in the interception, or the bomber cycle, approach, burst, disengage. So now everybody's going to return back to formation. Once I can make this cooperate with me. But we are going to need to roll for a few hits coming out of that. yellow 2, yellow 3, blue 2, blue leader, and blue 3. Okay, let's roll for red 3's hit first. That's a... just taking a break. Okay, so just taking a break, working all week on the secret project that I inspired with my comment that I wanted an air war game with more RPG aspects. That could be very interesting. I think you should announce the game on an upcoming War Room episode, maybe in January. Yeah, I think honestly, I'm kind of going back and forth on this one, admittedly, Jester. I'm looking at it. The game seems overly designed. Drawing cards for something you could easily roll a die for, and the die rolls are way too much. It also seems to be way too... I'm going back and forth on if I like how involved this is. I don't know. I think it's... Well, let me roll for the hit. Let me roll for the hits now that I've disengaged. So we'll roll for red. We'll roll for red 3 first. That's an 11. I think we want it to be higher to survive. Yes. Let's see. Interception sequence. I had a mark for hit check earlier. Oh, here we go. So yeah, if it's equal to or higher, it survives. So so red 3 is clear. How about blue 2? That's a 6, so it goes to the fate box. That was an engine hit coming in there. All right. And then we go back to... So we're in the interception sequence, which means we resume that. So just to kind of talk a little bit about the game seeming over-designed, this is probably going to sound a little bit weird to you. We have end-of-year shows, okay? So this is probably going to sound a little bit weird to you, Thomas, but Jester will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So in a very different game, we're going to pause this for a second just to kind of talk about some of my thoughts. So in a very different sports game, a game called Inside Pitch Baseball, I've kind of started having a little bit of a problem there, where I really adore the narrative that the game provides, but on the same token, I'm realizing that it comes with a lot of rules to it. And I think I'm seeing a lot of the same things out of Skies Above Britain, where on the one hand, I really like the narrative it's providing, but I almost think it's a little bit too much, to the point where I'm seriously contemplating kind of pulling this game up at this point. But I haven't completely decided yet, just because it's very involved. And like Thomas mentioned, I would probably have been done with Tally Ho already, but I really wanted to pull this one out again. Like I said, I like the story this one's telling, but I just think it's too much. So, well, we've only got 6 planes left. We've got 3 in fate boxes, 2 are lost contact. I'd probably be at this for about another hour, and I've got a few other things to do today, including the aforementioned Strat baseball game. So I think we're probably just going to break off here, especially since we're also going to be spending fuel, starting to get into low points pretty soon. So yeah, I think we're going to tap out here and just have everybody return to base. I'm realizing that this is a little too much. Like I said, I really like the narrative it's going for, but I just think it's too much. So let's go ahead. We're just going to tap out and have everybody return to base. And I know that's not how it goes, but I'm just not having fun with this one. And like I said, I think it's too much. So now let's go ahead and roll for our fate boxes. We've got green 3 who went up with a fuselage hit. So a 7. First, the Spitfire crashes. And a 6. we've got green 3 in the hospital. So that is Wunshi Hospital from fuselage crash. Try not to comment on other designers' games. That's totally fair. Don't disagree with Jester. And like I said, I'm starting to kind of... The fact that I have planes going into a box to see their survival is crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to turn on this one a little bit now that I'm kind of getting it laid out on the table. So then the elevator hit on green leader. Let's see what happens with it first in a Spitfire. 4, it crashes, and a 3. He's in the so green leader's in the hospital as well. Green leader was Pizarek. Hospital from elevator crash. And an engine hit for blue 2. That's an 8, crashes. And 4, looks like he just barely survived. So we've got another pilot in the hospital. Blue 2 today was Urbanowicz. Hospital from engine crash. And I think that is going to do it for this playthrough of Skies Above Britain. We'll say on the plus side, it recreates the angles and aspects of how to approach an enemy formation, how escorting fighters engage, yada, yada, yada. It's well abstracted and well designed in that way. It does seem to have a lot of historical accuracy to it and how it presents the historic formations. I guess kind of without some of the historical knowledge behind that, admittedly, I haven't gotten nearly into the weeds on the air war as much as you guys have, but yeah, like I said, I think I'm starting to realize that this game is a little bit too much for what it's trying to do. I think I'd rather be able to have the more narrative, the more tightly focused on kind of the 10,000 foot view of the battlefield, at least in the Battle of Britain. But like I said, I do like the story it's going for, but again, it just comes with too much in it. And I don't know how much longer this game is going to stay in my collection, to be perfectly honest. But I'm rambling a bit, so let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Later this afternoon, after I get some of my running around done, we're going to have another game of Stratomatic Baseball. I don't know which season I'm going to be into yet. I'll know that by the time I'm ready to go live. Later tonight, I might try to play something smaller, but I haven't decided on that yet. And then tomorrow, we're back to the baseball diamond again as we play Payoff Pitch Baseball from Sideline Strategy Games. I might try to sneak in another small game tomorrow afternoon, but I know I'm also going to want to do Pinot with Phoenix tomorrow, and that is going to be a long episode. So if you're planning on stopping by for that, maybe have some snacks or something with that, because I'm expecting that to be a long episode. Top 100 games, will Tally Ho make it? Good question. It might be on your list, Jester. I haven't had a chance to sit down and work on mine yet. In fact, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to get to mine, because also coming up on the channel, I will be starting my 1985 season replay in Season Ticket Baseball. Opening day is already coming up. That'll be on New Year's Day. That will be doing that. We'll have at least 2 blocks in the 1985 schedule, so stay tuned to the channel for that as well. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.